A very good morning to all of you. You're watching Breakfast News. My name is Aditi Nagpal Girotra. Let's begin the news with the headlines first. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to campaign in Haryana today. Rajnath Singh to address rally in Pune. Rahul Gandhi in Vardhania, Vatpal. BJP to release poll manifesto in Maharashtra. Over 50 lakh citizens benefited from Ayushman Bharat, says Prime Minister Modi, calls it an important milestone in journey towards a healthy India. His Earth scheme is curing diseases and empowering Indians. High-level GST review committee to hold first meeting today. Panel to suggest measures to increase GST collection, expand tax base and check evasion. Vice President returns from visit to Comoros and Sierra Leone. 6 pacts each signed with both nations. Vice President awarded highest civilian honor in Comoros. Need effective global cooperation to combat terrorism, says Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla at 141st Inter-Parliamentary Union Assembly in Serbia. Calls Parliament an open institution that allows citizens to hold MPs accountable. And now let's begin with all the news from Haryana. With 5 days of campaigning left for the upcoming Haryana Assembly elections, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will campaign for BJP candidates in the state for the second day. He will address the public in Dadri and Thanesar. The Prime Minister campaigned in Ballabgarh yesterday, where he urged the public to re-elect the Khattar government. He said the opposition parties in the state were crumbling, while the BJP had a strong team and a strong captain in Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar.
यहाँ का विकास, यहाँ के लोगों के जीवन में बदलाव, ये हमेशा हमेशा मेरी प्राथमिकता रही है। हमने कहा था कि छोटे किसानों, खेत मजदूरों को, छोटे व्यापारियों को, छोटे दुकानदारों को हर महीना पेंशन की सुविधा दी जाएगी। हमने ये भी कहा था कि देश के व्यापारियों, कारोबारियों के लिए राष्ट्रीय व्यापारी कल्याण बोर्ड का गठन करेंगे। साथियों, आज जब किसानों, पशुपालकों, श्रमिकों, कर्मचारियों, उद्यमियों की इस धरती पर आया हूं, तब मैं कह सकता हूं कि इतने कम समय में ये सारे संकल्प सिद्ध हो चुके हैं।
Congress leader Rahul Gandhi on Monday targeted central and state government over several issues of employment, agriculture and development. Addressing his first rally, Haryana's New, he claimed that whatever promises he had made so far, he had fulfilled like those in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. He said if elected to power in Haryana, Congress will waive farmers' loans as well.
पहला मुद्दा गुड़गांव से अलवर की रेलवे लाइन, दूसरा न्यू इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज को यूनिवर्सिटी का दर्जा देना, तीसरा कोटला लेक एक्सपेंशन और चौथा मेवात कैनाल। मैं आपको यहां झूठे वायदे करने नहीं आया हूं, मगर मैं आपको डायरेक्ट सीधा बोल रहा हूं, हरियाणा में कांग्रेस पार्टी की सरकार बनी तो ये काम चारों हो जाएंगे।
We have our news correspondent Tipu with us on the phone line. Let's gather more information from him on Haryana Assembly elections. Tipu, would it be right to say that Haryana Assembly elections are turning out to be a favourable script for the BJP, with opposition not showing enough political hunger?
आदिति, कल प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने जब बल्लभगढ़ में अपनी रैली की शुरुआत की तो उन्होंने दक्षिणी हरियाणा के जो 4 जिले हैं, पलवल, फरीदाबाद, गुड़गांव और मेवात के 15 सीटों पर उन्होंने एक तरीके से लोगों को संबोधित किया और राष्ट्रवाद समेत 370, 35A और ट्रिपल तलाक जैसे मुद्दों को उन्होंने जनता के बीच रखा और उन्होंने तमाम जो जन कल्याणकारी योजनाएं हैं हरियाणा समेत केंद्र सरकार की और हरियाणा के तमाम जिलों में जो जमीन पे उतर रही हैं उसका उन्होंने विस्तार से उन्होंने चर्चा की। उसके अलावा आज जो प्रधानमंत्री की रैली है अदिति, वो दादरी, चरखी और कुरुक्षेत्र में होनी है। ठीक 10 से 10:30 बजे रैली की शुरुआत होगी। तो जैसे जैसे चुनाव नजदीक आ रहा है, तमाम दिग्गज नेता तमाम पार्टियों के अपनी बात जनता तक पहुंचा रहे हैं। और अगर मैं खासकर यहाँ पर मेवात की बात करूं तो मेवात का जो शुमार होता है वो न सिर्फ हरियाणा के बैकवर्ड जिले में होता है बल्कि देश के पिछड़े जिलों में इसका शुमार होता था। तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी समेत हरियाणा सरकार की जो प्राथमिकता रही है वो 3500 से 4000 करोड़ रुपए की योजनाएं उन्होंने तमाम विकास कार्यों के लिए जो वहां पर दी है वो जमीन पर उतरती हुई मेवात में दिख रही है। मैं लगातार यहाँ पर जो 2-3 दिनों से मेवात का दौरा कर रहा हूँ, यहाँ पे जिस तरह से चाहे वो स्वास्थ्य की योजना हो या वो आयुष्मान भारत योजना हो या उसके अलावा जन कल्याणकारी जो योजनाएं हैं उसके तहत तमाम चीजें जो है जो गवर्नमेंट की जो प्लान जो नीतियां हैं वो जमीन पर उतरती दिख रही है। फिलहाल आज जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर की रैली होगी उसमें वो उत्तरी हरियाणा के जो जिले हैं, कैथल है, करनाल है, यमुनानगर है, इनमें जो 15 से 20 विधानसभा सीटें आती हैं उनको प्रधानमंत्री कवर करेंगे। अदिति
जी, थैंक यू सो मच टीपू। पर आपसे ये भी जानना चाहेंगे कि हाउ इज द कैंपेनिंग प्रोग्रेसिंग इन द स्टेट?
देखिए, जैसा मैंने आपको बताया कि चुनाव प्रचार अपने जोरों पे है और तकरीबन 5 दिन बचे हैं जब जनता अपने मताधिकार का इस्तेमाल करेगी। ऐसे में जो तमाम दल हैं, चाहे वो बीजेपी हो, कांग्रेस पार्टी हो, INLD हो, जेजेपी हो, और तमाम जो निर्दलीय उम्मीदवार किस्मत आजमा रहे हैं चुनावी मैदान में, वो बिल्कुल दमखम के साथ लगे हुए हैं। अब तमाम वादे किए गए हैं, तमाम जो नीतियां हैं वो पार्टियों की बनाई गई है। ऐसे में लगातार रैलियां हो रही हैं और एक तरफ तो पार्टियां अपने मैनिफेस्टो जारी कर रही हैं, दूसरी तरफ जनता भी अपना मैनिफेस्टो ये बता रही है कि हमें किन किन मुद्दों को एडजस्ट पार्टियों को करना चाहिए। ऐसे में चुनाव प्रचार अपने जोरों पे चल रहा है हरियाणा में। अदिति,
Thank you, Tipu, for all the information. Now let's get you all the news and updates from the election battleground in Maharashtra. Campaigning has also intensified in poll-bound Maharashtra. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will campaign in Pune today. The BJP will also release its election manifesto for the state. The Sankalp Patra will be released by Union Minister and BJP Working President JP Nadda. Nadda campaigned in Nandurbar district yesterday, where he listed the developmental work done by BJP-led Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis.
अगर हम वसंतराव नायक को छोड़ दें तो लंबे समय तक महाराष्ट्र की धरती पर कोई भी मुख्यमंत्री 5 साल पूरा नहीं कर सका सिवाय देवेंद्र फडणवीस के। इसका क्या अर्थ बनता है? इसका अर्थ यह बनता है कि महाराष्ट्र की जनता तो मजबूत थी, लेकिन महाराष्ट्र का नेतृत्व कमजोर था। इसका अर्थ यह बनता है कि महाराष्ट्र की जनता तो मजबूत थी, लेकिन महाराष्ट्र का नेतृत्व भ्रष्टाचार से लिप्त था।
The opposition too is campaigning in the state ahead of polling next week. Former Congress President Rahul Gandhi will address the public in Wardha and Yavatmal district today. NCP chief Sharad Pawar is also scheduled to address 4 rallies in the state. Looking for a clean sweep in the Maharashtra Assembly elections, the BJP-Sena alliance is focusing on making electoral gains over its infrastructure and other developmental work in the past 5 years. The opposition, however, is aiming to corner the government on civic issues like building collapses and flooding in the city. Here's a detailed report.
India's financial, commercial and entertainment capital Mumbai generates 6.16% of India's total GDP. It is also one of the most globalized cities in South Asia and the main destination for foreign investment and joint ventures. On 21st October, more than 1 crore 84 lakh voters will decide the electoral fate of 334 candidates in Mumbai. Divided into two districts, Mumbai City and Mumbai Suburban, Mumbai accounts for 36 seats in the assembly. In 2014, the BJP secured 15 seats and the Shiv Sena 14 seats. Both parties improved their 2009 tally by 10 seats each. The Congress secured only 5 seats, coming down from its 2009 tally by 12 seats. The NCP failed to get any seat in 2014, while it had secured 3 seats back in 2009. The Samajwadi Party and AIMIM had 1 seat each. In the 2014 and 2019 Lok Sabha elections, the BJP-Sena alliance eased out the opposition from all 6 seats. Looking for a clean sweep in the state elections, the BJP-Sena alliance is focusing on making electoral gains over its infrastructure and other developmental work in the past 5 years. The opposition is aiming to corner the government on civic issues like building collapses and flooding in the city. The array tree felling and PMC bank scam is also expected to dominate campaigning issues. The Congress is contesting on 30 seats in the city, leaving 6 for the NCP. The BJP has fielded 17 candidates while the Shiv Sena is contesting 19 seats. The highlight of the poll battle will be South Central Mumbai's Worli seat. A Shiv Sena bastion, 29-year-old Aditya Thackeray is making the Thackeray clan's electoral debut from there. The Congress NCP has fielded veteran Dalit leader Suresh Mane against him. The Sena lost the seat just once in the last 30 years. Intra-party rebellion is another key issue for political parties. Prominent rebels for the Shiv Sena are its current MLA Tripti Sawant, who is contesting from the Bandra East seat, against official party nominee and Mumbai Mayor Vishwanath Mahadeshwar. The Thackeray home Matoshri falls in this area. The BJP has denied tickets to heavyweights like Vinod Tavre from Borivali, Prakash Mehta from Ghatkopar, among others. The NCP suffered a blow after city unit chief and former Worli MLA Sachin Ahi defected to the Sena. For the past 20 years, Maharashtra's politics has revolved around the BJP Sena and Congress NCP alliances. Both have enjoyed power at least once. But this time, while the Congress NCP is looking depleted, the Shiv Sena, which has a strong presence in the city, is looking at a much strengthened BJP. The NCP will be making efforts to stay relevant in Mumbai. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Government's ambitious scheme to provide health insurance cover for poor people in the country has touched a key milestone in just over a year. Till now, the scheme has benefited over 50 lakh people with free-of-cost treatment. In a Twitter message, Prime Minister Narendra Modi termed it an important milestone in the journey of creating a healthy India that would make every Indian proud. He said that apart from curing, the scheme is empowering several Indians. Till now, 50,34,922 people have benefited from the scheme. Under the scheme, over 18,000 hospitals have been linked. 10 crore 86 lakh e-cards have been issued till now. The scheme was launched by Prime Minister Modi on 23rd September 2018 from Jharkhand's capital, Rajya. The scheme aims to provide quality healthcare to more than 50 crore poor and vulnerable people across the country. The scheme gives annual healthcare benefits of up to Rs 5 lakh for every entitled family. And with this, we'll head into a short break on morning news, but we'll be back soon. Stay tuned with us.
million people have now given the thumbs up to Rajya Sabha television. RSTV's growth has been phenomenal, with the journey from 2 million to 3 million being completed in less than 6 months. That's over 6,200 new subscribers every day. Our online viewers are engaging with us more actively. Every day, thousands like, share and comment on our videos. So come and join this growing tribe of RSTV viewers and get ready for an exciting journey.
Welcome back. You're still with us on Breakfast News. High-level panel to suggest measures to improve GST revenue collection will hold its first meeting today. The panel was formed by the government last week to suggest steps to expand the tax base and check evasion in the backdrop of falling revenue collections under the GST. The 12-member panel, comprising state-level GST commissioners and central officials, has been given 15 days to submit its report. The National Institute of Technology in Srinagar will reopen today. Restrictions were imposed in the state of Jammu and Kashmir when Centre abrogated Article 370 and bifurcated it into union territories on 5th of August. In the wake of the situation, the classes were suspended in NIT. Last month, HRD Ministry had announced the reopening of the classes at NIT. Gradually, normalcy is returning in the valley. Mobile networks were also restored yesterday in the valley. Two terrorists belonging to Hizbul Mujahideen were arrested in Jammu and Kashmir's Ganderbal district on Monday. Acting on a credible information, police along with security forces arrested two terrorists, both residents of Chandiwada, Rajouri. According to police records, both of them were part of the prescribed terror outfit Hizbul Mujahideen and were acting as couriers for active terrorists, spokesman said. They were also responsible for supplying terrorists with logistics, transporting arms and ammunition, and guiding active terrorists for carrying out terror attacks in the area. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu arrived in New Delhi this morning from Sierra Leone after concluding his two-nation Africa tour on Monday. India and Sierra Leone signed 6 agreements to enhance cooperation in various fields, including agriculture and information technology. During his visit, the Vice President had a productive meet with Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Both nations also agreed to push for UN-SC reforms. Vice President Naidu also announced opening of an Indian High Commission in Sierra Leone.
Signing of 6 MOUs and agreements followed the talks. Excellency the President, Mr. Julius Maada Bio, termed our relations as warm and excellent and conveyed his personal gratitude for the visit of Honorable Vice President. He referred to the increasing engagement with India and thanked India for the line of credit of $30 million for irrigation and the extensive assistance from India in capacity building, technology transfer, humanitarian aid, etc.
Earlier, the Vice President visited Comoros. On the first leg of his visit, the two sides signed 6 agreements on defense cooperation, health, pharma and maritime security. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu held delegation-level talks with the President of Comoros, Mr. Azali Assoumani, at the Presidential Palace in Moroni. Vice President called for a collective fight against terrorism during his visit. He also addressed the Indian diaspora in both countries.
The policy of the Government of India is towards Africa has probably been the most robust in the last 5 years. And you are aware that the Honorable Vice President himself mentioned that we have done 32 visits at the highest levels, Prime Minister, Vice President, President levels to Africa. And it cuts across Africa.
Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla on Monday said Parliament is an open institution that empowers citizens to hold MPs responsible. Speaking at the 141st Assembly of the Inter-Parliamentary Union in Belgrade in Serbia, Birla said parliamentarians are an important medium of communication between the people and the government. Birla also observed that parliamentary diplomacy has come into greater focus in recent times in strengthening international law. He also called for well-defined international order to combat terrorism for a peaceful and prosperous world.
न्याय संगत, शांतिपूर्ण तथा समृद्ध विश्व के लिए एक संतुलित अंतर्राष्ट्रीय व्यवस्था का होना अनिवार्य है। निसंदेह इसके लिए ऐसे मापदंड और मानक तैयार किए जाने की आवश्यकता है जो संपूर्ण अंतर्राष्ट्रीय समुदाय को स्वीकार्य हो। खेद की बात है कि कई अन्य ऐसे क्षेत्र जिसके संबंध में हम गंभीर और सामूहिक रूप से क्षति पहुंचाने वाले मामलों में अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर कानून विकसित नहीं कर पाए। आतंकवाद ऐसा ही एक गंभीर चिंता का विषय है। आज हम सब किसी न किसी रूप में इससे प्रभावित हो रहे हैं। इसलिए आज आतंकवाद के मामले में प्रभावशाली अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सहयोग की आवश्यकता है, लेकिन संकीर्ण भू राजनीतिक हितों के कारण इस मुद्दे पर अभी तक प्रभावी कानून नहीं बनाया जा सका है। विडंबना है कि इस महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दे पर प्रभावी कानून बनाने की दिशा में होने वाली प्रगति को रोकने के लिए कई देश विभिन्न अप्रासंगिक कानून विचारधाराओं का सहारा लेते हैं। भारत का विश्वास है कि आज के परस्पर निर्भरता वाले विश्व में हम ऐसी साझी चुनौतियों का सामना कर रहे हैं जिनका समाधान सहकारी और प्रभावी बहुपक्षीय सहयोग के जरिए किया जा सकता है।
Tackling climate change, in our view, first and foremost requires that emissions of greenhouse gases are reduced drastically and urgently to control the rise in temperatures. The reports of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change in earlier years, as well as in the special reports of this year, stress the vital importance of urgent action if we are to achieve the goals set out in the Paris Agreement of UNFCCC 4 years ago. All of us can contribute to this solution by relentlessly pursuing climate-friendly lifestyles and sustainable consumption and production. We have to make our people active stakeholders in this effort. A wide variety of initiatives must be encouraged with the involvement of state and non-state actors. This is a gigantic task and calls for a common resolve from all of us.
Pakistan is staring at tough action by the international terror financing watchdog Financial Action Task Force. The country may soon be put in the dark grey list, just one stage ahead of being blacklisted. Dark grey means a strong warning so that the country concerned gets one last chance to improve. This due to inadequate performance by Pakistan on terror financing. It has managed to pass in only 6 out of 27 items. The FATF will finalize its decision on Pakistan on 18th of October. Islamabad is likely to be isolated by all members for not doing enough to combat terrorism. Pakistan was placed on the grey list by FATF in June last year and was given a plan of action to complete it by October 2019. If Pakistan continues with the grey list or put in dark grey list, it would be very difficult for the country to get financial aid from IMF, the World Bank and the European Union. Pakistan must prevent militant groups from operating on its soil and prosecute top Lashkar-e-Taiba operatives along with its leader, Hafiz Saeed. This the US has said ahead of the Financial Action Task Force's crucial decision on whether to blacklist the country. Alice Wells, head of the US State Department's South and Central Asian Bureau, also welcomed the arrest of the top 4 leaders of Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jamaat-ud-Dawa in Pakistan. Pakistan's law enforcement agencies on Thursday arrested the top 4 leaders of the banned LET-JUD on charges of terrorism financing. The top 4 arrested terrorists have been identified as Professor Zafar Iqbal, Yahya Aziz, Muhammad Ashraf and Abdul Salam. Ahead of World Stroke Day on October 29th, Dr. M.B. Padma Srivastav of AIIMS has said that there's been an increase in the number of brain stroke patients in India. She said every 20 seconds, a person suffers a brain stroke in the country, and a related death is reported every 3 minutes. She added that stress is the main cause of stroke and 20 to 25% of the youth are suffering from it. She said brain stroke patients need to be taken to the nearest hospital as soon as possible and emphasized on spreading awareness for the same.
Stroke is #1 cause of death. It's overtaken cancer and MI, heart attacks. So, kyun hai? It's probably again hypertension. But this is one factor that India, they say कि it is heading towards a stroke epidemic. तो अगर स्ट्रोक स्टैटिस्टिक्स भी देखे तो एवरी 20 सेकेंड्स देर इज़ 1 स्ट्रोक एंड एवरी 2 मिनट्स देर इज़ अ स्ट्रोक डेथ. ये हमारा स्टैटिस्टिक्स नहीं है, ये इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ मेडिकल रिसर्च की स्टैटिस्टिक्स है. सो अनफॉर्चुनेटली वी आर हेडिंग टुवर्ड्स more brain attacks.
And with this, it's a wrap on this edition of Breakfast News. Thank you so much for joining us.